mushroom lovers. I am in North Carolina, the Outer Banks, and for the 4th of July holiday. Today's my last day here, and I've been here for a week. It's been a fun time. The first couple of days were a very stressful time because it's the first time that I have left the new grow. And even the old one, I only left for a few days at a time. I've never left for a week. I had to make a choice on whether or not to be present for a vacation with my family and a bunch of our friends. We're in like one of these huge like mansion places with like we have 21 people with us, and it was one of those I either have to go the entire time or I can't go at all because of accessing it, the vehicle situation. I'm gonna try to stay in the light because it's bright here. But anyways, so the only thing I could do, and what's been on my mind while everyone's gone right now, we're in the middle of a storm. There's a hurricane coming, so no one's at the beach right now, but everyone's out. So anyways, but I wanted to go through my new monthly expenses for having moved. If you're first watching my channel, I just moved. My business is Funky Fungi. I've just recently moved to a 2,000 square foot warehouse, and a lot of these new expenses are fresh. I moved May 1st, really didn't get access to growing it until mid-June, the third week of June, I believe. And now it's, like I said, the week of 4th of July, so it's only been like 3 weeks of production, and not even 3 full weeks. Like, we're still not at anywhere near full production. So regardless, I wanted to go over some of the new monthly expenses for a larger small grow, if that makes sense. So this is the next step up from growing kind of in your house or in whatever. So to start, my goal for this place is 350 pounds a week. A minimum of, call it a minimum of 250, preferable 3, idealistically 350. And, it's just, we'll base it off of that. So in a sense of time, to start again, so when I say a batch, for me, I consider a batch 1 pack of fuel pellets, which is 40 pounds, and one 40-pound thing of soy hulls with water. All right, so that's one batch in my mind. Everyone's different. So to get to 350 pounds, I'm gonna start at 350. 350 pounds for me would be 12 batches. That's what I would be shooting for until I know I'm consistently hitting it at, call it 10 or 11 batches. If you do the math on it, so I'm not doing 10-pound bags. My bags are coming out around 9 pounds. Most bags, if everything is perfect, most species will come out 2 pounds or close to 2 pounds. I always want to underestimate, so that I'm not surprised. So I'm basing everything off 1.5 pounds. I'm basing it off of one flush, which can be good or bad because if you're doing only one flush, I'm not going to be doing one flush. I'm going to be doing 2 flushes, but you need more grow space, obviously. So I'm trying to allot for the extra grow space, the extra real estate for allowing that second flush to happen, if that makes sense. So, but I'm just basing the poundage itself off of one flush. So work with me. So 12 batches, one flush, and at 1.5 pounds, just to give me wiggle room. I'm also giving myself wiggle room on bags that are going to have to get thrown out, mold, whatever. So I'm hoping that I am overestimating enough. We'll see. Shit always happens. Okay, so I'll start with the expenses. And this is for me. I'm just letting you know. I'm in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore County. And it's very hard, at least here, to find any warehouse type space for less than 3,000, 4,000 square feet. I got 2,000. It was kind of either, there were literally like 3 places that had 2,000 square feet approximately, which is what I kind of knew was the minimum of what I would need to move. There were 3 places. One place, one guy told me, I'm not trying to have, a mushroom grower. Did not want anything with growing of any sort. A lot of people have been burned. A lot of landlords have been burned by people that have any kind of hydroponic growing, whatever, type of business, because at the end of the day, when they're gone, I guess they've left it in poor shape. So just so you know, when you're looking for a spot, it might be hard to find a place. At least in my area, it was. So yeah. God, this. Sorry, I'm really hoping that it stays light. Anyways, so what I could find was my rent, and it's a triple net lease. So it's not just the so the rent itself is 11.25, but I have to pay for my portion of the entire units, like snow removal services, taxes, all this stuff. So with all that combined, my monthly rent is 16.60. Electric bill, I'm approximating 500. It's gonna be probably more than that in the summer, maybe less than that in the winter. I'm just saying 500. I'll get back to you when I get my first real bill. My first bill was like $200, but I didn't have my AC on quite as much. Internet, I have $100. I also have like basic TV because my kids come sometimes. So your internet you can probably get for 50. Mine is just 100. One thing I was thinking about was garbage services. We're getting rid of a lot of bags. We're doing, I forget the amount of 12 batches times 20 bag. We're doing about 240 bags a week. So that means we're going to be getting rid of, damn near 240 bags a week, or you're somewhere near there. Again, just kind of saying first flush. So that's a lot of bags. Now I could have brought it home. I don't want anyone to give me crap for getting rid of the bags. One thing I had to decide on was whether or not to. There's three ways that you could deal with bags. One, I could take them home in my pickup truck and do the composting situation, which I was. God, this light. Let me see. Maybe I can. This might be better because if I'm holding it. Sorry. This might be better. Okay, so with the garbage removal, I don't want this to make this a garbage video. Not the garbage, but the blocks. So I could either take it home in my pickup truck and do like a composting pile, which I was doing before, and I was having a farmer come get it. Two, I could just trash it in a garbage, which that is what is right for me at this time in my business. Please don't leave comments on giving me crap for that or whatever. That's what's right for me in my business. I can't afford the labor and the time to actually put that much in my pickup and take it back home and dump it and all that. I was also in my area, I don't care where you live, where I live, I sent it out to all the farmers in my co-op, said, hey, I've got this free mushroom compost, you just got to get it. I had one guy that was getting it in the winter, and even he stopped contacting me. So at home, I have this huge pile, and there's like flies everywhere, who knows what maggots probably, all over this pile, because I could not get farmers to take it. So if you're in Kansas or Oklahoma or wherever, and you got lots of farmers they want to take, good for you. I wish I could do that. That's not the case for me. So then I did contact, though, a composting company, and they would come. They couldn't come once a week. It was sporadic. It was like maybe every 3 weeks. It was kind of like a maybe type situation. And it also was actually very expensive. They charged way more than a garbage removal. Bottom line, again, I'm broke, so I had to do a garbage removal service, and even that it was $85 a month, which is still a lot for me. So, but the composting, you would think they would take it away for free. Nuh-uh. It was like double that. So anyway, QuickBooks, $15 a month, boxes. God bless Eric Myers. I love him. He's one of the guys that I trust the most. He was, my very first mentor. We got into it recently about whether to do cardboard boxes versus, I'm talking about harvest boxes like that you actually give the chef. Cardboard versus, like disposable, versus the plastic totes that you give to them, that you give to the restaurant, and then you bring it home the next time that you have deliveries, right? I'm sorry, yeah, the next time you deliver. So there's pros and cons of both, and if you're first starting, and even if you're not first starting, you got to think about these things. First of all, my co-op that I'm in, and now the co-op is not a ton of my business. It might wind up being maybe 15%, or not, maybe not even that much, maybe no more than 20% of my business in the end. I am required to do a disposable box because they have so many different farmers delivering that they can't be like, okay, this is Jules, this is Funky Fungi's boxes, this is ABC Farm boxes, so it has to be disposable. So at the end of the day, I'm always going to have cardboard or disposable boxes. So that's one thing. The second thing, though, is if there are restaurants that you deal with, but you don't necessarily, it's not a weekly thing. It might be they might order, once every 3 weeks, or maybe once a month, or it's a new customer that you're not sure they're going to be coming back all the time. I would probably give them a disposable box because I can't afford to have so many plastic boxes out there or bins. I keep saying boxes, plastic bins or totes out there that I can just leave it with someone, for weeks on end. They get lost. They get mixed up with other farmers. Other farmers might take it. The restaurants, they lose stuff. And if a company, I'm sorry, if a restaurant or a chef stops using you, it's awkward. You come back like, hey, can I have those bins back? I mean, you can do that for sure, but so some people in some situations, it's better to give them a disposable box. Some of my chefs like a disposable box. The ones that don't have a lot of storage space, and I do have some, especially refrigeration space. They have asked me, or they haven't asked me. They're like, I really prefer the disposable box. So regardless, though, I'm doing the math. It's about, depending on where you go, where I'm getting my from, which is TR, Earth Angel mushrooms. With shipping, it's like $1.20 a box, right? And the box is 5 pounds of mushrooms. So for me, for doing 350 pounds, it's all based on 350 pounds. If times that by 52 weeks, how many boxes I need, I think it's 70 boxes. It's 333 boxes. I'm sorry, $333 a month in boxes if I did all disposable. So I am, Eric, thank you for yelling at me. We literally got into it, going back and forth. He wants me to do more plastic, the totes, and I am gonna actually wind up doing that. At least for the customers that I am doing weekly. So it'll be a combination of both for me, but it is going to cost me a good amount. I mean, probably a couple grand for me to get as many boxes as I need, the totes, because you have to think about how many if you're doing 350 pounds a week, 5 pound boxes. Again, I think I did the math. It was 70 boxes. You can't just buy 70 boxes. You've got to buy at a minimum 140. Because think about it, if you're doing 10 pounds, you need 2 boxes from one chef. You got to have 4 boxes at a minimum for that chef. They're going to have 10. I'm sorry, they're going to have 2 boxes from the 10 pounds you just delivered, and then you got to bring them another 10 pounds the next week, which means you have to have 4 boxes total because you're getting back that first one. And again, they might want 10 pounds one week and then 15 or 20 the next week, so you got to have more. Again, you're going to have some chefs that don't order weekly, so they're going to hold on to them longer. So really, I mean, I'm thinking you need like 3 times the amount of boxes per pounds that you need. So it's going to be a lot, and so that's why for a while, until I really figure it out, it's going to have to be a minimum. So again, 333 just pure cardboard boxes or disposable. Spawn, if I'm not making my own, right now I'm not making my own. We're going to start trying to do our own. We're going to still be buying because I want to make sure the last thing you want is to be making your own spawn and you mess it up, and then you've messed up all these batches, and then you have zero income coming in. So we're going to mess with our spawn and make sure that it's going good. God, I really hope you can see. All right. And we'll see. But for now, with buying your own or buying spawn, 12 batches. I'm sorry, 12 bags of spawn is $780 a month if we're doing 12 batches or 12 bags of spawn. So pellets and soy holes. For me, where I am, a 40-pound bag of soy and pellets is, oh gosh, where is it? It's like $11. Dang, I had it written down somewhere. It's like 11 or 12 bucks and some change. So to do 12 batches, it's where is my dollar amount? $780 a month for that, and those are the main expenses. So rent, electric, internet, garbage services, QuickBooks, boxes, spawn, pellets and soy, I added in some money for like incidentals. There's going to be so much stuff that comes up. It's going to be ridiculous. But I added in, I think like 300-400 bucks of extras a month. I could see that being larger things. Equipment going up, smaller equipment going up, or you're going to have larger stuff going up too. But that's the best that I could do. At the end of the day, shoot, I forgot to check. Let me see. It is, and I hope you can still see me. I'm actually on my spreadsheet. I'll go back if I can. So I just looked at my spreadsheet. It's $4,500 a month in expenses. Everything that I just listed, which scares the crap out of me because that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Added in there, I don't know if I mentioned, so I do have some part-time help. I've got 3 people at the moment, and which sounds like a lot. Total hours is 25 hours a week, or at least that's what I put in the spreadsheet. They might not even be at 25 hours a week. They might be. Here's the reason why I have so much help. I have a buddy who does maybe around that, maybe a little bit less, maybe more like 250 pounds a week. He does everything himself, which is great because he doesn't have that extra cost. The problem, excuse me, for me, damn, sorry, is that I'm not single. Sorry, I've been drinking wine, so I'm like depressed because I'm looking at these numbers. Let me hold on. Yeah, I'm drinking rosé at like 12 because these numbers depress me. I knew them, but I just wanted to get them all on a better spreadsheet. But I have not only that amount of hours, but that amount of employees because, sorry, whew, God, it's hard to, there we go, sorry. Because I'm a mom, I've got, a husband, I've got 3 kids, I've got lots of sports, I've got a lot going on. And like this vacation, it was very important to me. It was a really hard decision on whether or not to come, but I need that amount of people that know what to do in this grow if I need to go on vacation, if I get sick and break my arm, if I have to have surgery, if there's so many ifs, because I'm on the hook for all those costs, with the exception of, if I had to stop production, yeah, I'm not going to have spawn, I'm not going to have, the soy costs and all that kind of stuff. But I still will have rent, I'll have electric, I'll have all those things that they don't give a crap if you broke your leg. So I need more than one person, a minimum one person to know what's going on. I have a guy that comes just on Saturday. If I just need a break, I work with him on Saturday. It's not like he's there by himself, but when I do have to go away or whatever, I need someone that can help me out on the weekend. And just a few hours. He's like here like 3 hours. And then I've got one of my guys, he's with me on 8 hours on Wednesday. He helps me do all the lab work and like all the manly guy stuff. Something needs to get fixed or, you know, he's like that guy. He's that guy that I really need, and I've already told him like he can't go anywhere. I love Ben to death. Shout out Ben if you're watching. And I, in the end, I'd like him to work a lot more, but he has another business that he's involved in. He really loves too. And then I've got my girl Marissa. She does the farmers markets, which they're not going well. They're not a good fit for the business. So unless things change, it's just not part of our business model. I'm glad that I tried it this year, but the amount of time spent, whether it was me or whether I'm paying her, the amount that we're making, I mean, not the amount spent, the amount that we're making is not worth the amount of labor costs at all, like not even close. So we won't be doing farmers markets again next year, at least not the ones that we can do. There's another mushroom guy that does the really good markets, but again, they're on the really good ones are on Saturday and Sunday, and we don't have a lot here. And I got kids, I've got football, I've got lacrosse games. I'm not going to miss out on all of that because I don't have to. Or I don't want to put it that way. So for me, it's chefs and wholesaling to like some local local grocers, not like grocery stores, but like butchery shops, stuff like that. So anyway, so Marissa that's for the moment. She does all the farmers markets and stuff. She does the deliveries, and she's my girl. She does like really like whatever whatever we need, she's like there for it, and I love her to death. So yeah, so that's another expense. They're paid. I'm not gonna say exactly how much they're paid, but they're paid good for, I think anyway. And so I base off 25 hours. So all that's like 4,500. I think I said a month in expenses. So you can do the math. I did the math based on $8 a pound, based on $10 a pound. I was doing 8 a pound for the summer months because again I noticed that I wasn't surprised at all when summer came or spring came, really, when tomatoes started coming back, or they're coming back now, lettuce, all these things that the chefs, the chefs haven't had access to, through the fall and the winter. The mushroom sales go down. Mushroom, got to remember, they use mushrooms all year round, but it's a comfort food. They're going to use a heck of a lot of it in the fall and winter because there's not much else. There's not all these spring and summer vegetables. So I know that I'm going to make the most amount of money fall and winter, or at a minimum, I'm going to have the most amount of demand, put it that way, the most amount of demand in the fall and winter. Like that's where for sure I'm going to make my money. But I lost my train of thought on that one. Oh, so I noticed that the sales were going down. So what did I do? I decided to lower my price from 10 a pound to $8 a pound. And I told all of my chefs, I'm like, hey, spring summer pricing is now lowered to $8 a pound. 10 is still very, very, it's very reasonable. It's not overcharged at all, especially for the quality. That's a total normal fee for across the country. $8 is like you're getting a steal. And so, because I do have a really good relationship with most of my chefs, they knew this process of moving and the expense involved in that. It's way, a lot more expensive than you would probably think. And I had no choice but to raise it back to $10 again, which is a very fair price. And they were totally fine with that. They understood. I'm like, I'd rather raise the price back up to 10 and stay in business than to keep it at 8 and be like, fingers crossed, like, hope I'm in business. So sometimes you got to make those decisions. But so I'm back at 10. And then certain species, maybe a little bit more like king or something like that if I start doing king again. And those are because it takes more air conditioning because you have to obviously lower the temp. And then also for species that require more colonization time. It's taking up space. So those are the kind of things that I would charge more for, more like $12 a pound. Some even charge 14 a pound, just whatever you feel is important. But so that's the expenses. Like I said, you can do the math on the gross profit, net profit if you want. I'm not going to go into all that. But for me, if 350 a pound, I'm sorry, yeah, 350 a week, and at those expenses, is netting me, about close to six-figure income, which that's good. That's good enough for me for doing this. So but that's a lot of work. So if someone's like, oh my God, like if you do the math on the 200, 250, obviously it's not as much. Doing this amount of work, there's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of headache involved, and so much can go wrong. So I would love to say at the end of the year, I'd like to show you like how much. Oh, sorry, another big expense that I didn't say is my loan expense. I have technically I have three kind of loan, but I lumped it all into one. I've got a huge loan expense from moving. It's around 50 grand, something like that. That includes obviously all the moving expenses, all the HVAC, the plumbing that got done, the electrical that got done. That also includes my mixer, which I couldn't do this without a mixer and a bagger. It includes a lot of things. So I have a big loan payment, and I know people are going to say like, oh, when are you going to, when's it going to be paid off? And I don't know. Like I know if I would know when it's going to be paid off if all those numbers align up with my spreadsheet. The problem is the numbers aren't going to line up with my spreadsheet. I'm not going to get consistent 350 pounds a week. I'm not going to have precisely that amount of expenses. Stuff's going to go wrong. I'm really hoping that obviously the least amount goes wrong, of course, but you just don't know. So I don't know exactly when that is going to be paid off. I do know that I'm not going to be personally taking a paycheck until that's paid off. So it's going to be a minute. Like I'm personally not going to use any of the income for myself. So, it's going to be a while. So, anyways, I hope that's helpful to list out at least the monthly expenses and just to give a ballpark on how much it actually costs for me to move. And again, that 50K was, call it 10 of that was on my Thatcher mixer. And sorry, I'm trying to make it brighter. So I apologize for the lighting. Um, 10, Thatcher mixer. It's about 11,000 for HVAC. Um, the other 30,000 was a mix of plumbing, electrical, uh, just other expenses that I can't, pallet jacks and this, that, and the other, and lots of things. And I brought a lot of things. I brought all my lab equipment. I didn't buy any new lab equipment, but there was a lot of expenses, a lot of miscellaneous. I can't tell you how many trips to Home Depot that are 100, 200, $300, but you're doing it like every other day. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but then you're like, oh my God, like I'm racking up like 10 grand at Home Depot over the course of like a month. So it's no joke. But that's how much it is. And just so you know, if you're thinking about making a bigger move, at least for me, that's what it was. So I hope that's helpful. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Like the video, give it a thumbs up if it's been helpful, and keep doing your thing like I am with mine. Take care.